This is part 2 of my documentary. As a child growing up in my grandma's house, I already said that I was living with my grandma and my mother, and my grandma got legal custody of us. So when it came to the point my grandma got legal custody of us, I fight day and night to be a child. Like, I used to bang my head on walls and cry and pout because I wanted my mama. So when my mama came around, as we got older in age, I was about 13 or 14, she would come around, pick up my older siblings and not pick up me. She would take them to the circus and to the zoo and to the fair, and I would always be the outside child. I was always the outside child in my group. Like, my mama didn't recognize me at all. Like, she didn't care. I was like visible, where like a blind side, basically. And my grandma seen how I fight and cry every day and night when she would come and get them and take them with her, and didn't recognize who I am. So by me growing up in that household with my grandma, she kept me strong on believing in myself and knowing how to adapt to the situation of knowing that, that's my mother, but you got to forgive her one day. But you'll never forget on the things that you've been through with your mother. And like, my mama feel like I shouldn't come out and open up about my story because of the fact that they ain't gone. It's something that happened in the past, but you never know what a person is really going through inside and out if they don't speak about it. This is not Ayana. This is not me going to Dr. Phil. This is me doing this on my own, letting the world know this is my documentary of my life on how I was treated as a child, and I felt like I was closed down and buried under the grave already. Like, it just didn't feel right. And then growing up in my grandma's house, it was crazy because my uncles was raping my brothers, fighting my sisters. Like, it just wasn't right. And then it's always crazy things was going on in our life to where I couldn't take it anymore. So where I just felt like taking a gun in my head and shooting my whole head off. So my Uncle Derek was a person who was in our life while we was young. He would come down from Maryland. He would come down, he would bring me books to read about the color of my skin because of the fact that they ain't gone. My mom used to call me black all the time, and I used to get real angry about it. So he used to buy me books, and the books would have things in there of nature about my color and why, my color is this color, and no, I'm no different than nobody else. And he would buy us other books on how life should be itself. Like, my Uncle Derek was there for me, to hold me when at times he would come down. And I would cry when he leave because I would tell him, like, I don't want to be here because I feel like I'm an outsider. I feel like I was tormented. I was beaten. I was treated like nobody. And then to this day, I see my mom and I love her to death, but you will never forget. And then you look at a person that gave you life to look at them and be like, wow, why would she treat me this way? And now that I'm grown, I still show love and respect because of the fact that that's my mother. And I don't let nobody overtalk her or say anything about her, but people don't understand people's story and what they go through inside or out, day in or day out. Day in or day out, day in or day and night. Like, I still have dreams about it. And like, living in my grandma's house, I was a young girl growing up in the system. So we wasn't taken out of my grandma's house. She got full custody of us. And when she got full custody of us, her grandma rules in her house was what goes on behind closed doors stays behind closed doors. And as a child, you can't talk about certain things in your life. But, as I got older, I told my kids, I said, I'm more stronger than what y'all think I am. The things I went through in my life is crazy. The things y'all going through now, y'all ain't going through half of the shit I've been through. And I said, I can look back over my life and let y'all know, like, you know what, one day I'm going to be at the top. And one day we all going to be where mama wants y'all to be at. And that's going to be in the fame life. Because the fact you can't hold in something that's bothering you. You have to let it out. And a lot of people does that. That's why a lot of people commit suicide. That's why a lot of people kill themselves. That's why a lot of people just messed up in the mind. Like, because they can't open up about what's really going on. We all once had to crawl before we walk. We all once was children. We all once was toddlers, adults, teenagers. I mean, once you go to an adult stage and then you go to seeing life and you get older, you can let the world know your story. Like me personally, my grandma taught me how to cook, clean, do everything I know. But she also understand how I really felt about her own daughter treating me the way she treated me because of the fact that they ain't gone. I used to cry on her shoulder and let her know, like, this is something that I'm going through. Like, I need closure. I need freedom. I need to know that they ain't gonna, my grandma is gone now. Like, I'm opening up about it. And I don't care if she like it or nobody don't like it. This is a documentary, part 2. I'm just letting the world know that as a child, treated by the woman who gave me life, and my father walked out of our life because of my mother. He said, it just crazy how he met her in school and they went from one thing to another one, and then it just couldn't work out between them, and he just abandoned me until I was 15 years old. Sorry. Now that my grandma is gone, I feel like I'm free to open up about anything, because I used to write these things down in a book. And I used to say to myself, you know what? I'm going to make it, God, because you still got me here on this earth for a reason. My mother did what she did to me behind closed doors. She treated me like I was nobody. She treated me like an outsider. She said I wasn't her daughter. I'm a bitch. I'm a hoe. And my sister that got killed is dead and gone. When we had a conversation in my house, and she said to me, why do our mother treat us the way she treats us when we are her daughter and she gave us life? And I said, you know what? I'm writing a book about that. And I want to publish that book so it can go out there to the world can understand my true colors and who I really am. You can't judge a book by its color because what you see or what I post. You don't really know what I'm going through inside or out. This is my documentary part 2. And I just keep telling people over and over again, like, you have to live your life like it's your last, because I could have been gone since I was a child. And then when my Uncle Derek stepped into our life changed for the better. Because as I got older growing up in my household, I wanted to get away. I wanted to be free of everything. And I'm not going to give up.